All right, guys, welcome back. Today, we're going to do a quick comparison of the Erin Condren Homeschool Planner and the Erin Condren Teacher Lesson Planner and show the similarities, the differences to help you pick which one is the best for you. So for background, my name is Caitlin. I am a homeschooling mom. I'm going into my 7th year of homeschooling. For the first 5, years, I used a teacher lesson planner. And then last year, Erin Condren sent me the homeschool lesson planner to try. And so I got to use that last year. And then this year, they sent me a teacher planner again. So I'm going to be comparing the 2025-2026 teacher planner to the homeschool planner, which as of this year, 2025-2026, this has not changed in the 3 years since the homeschool planner came out. So it is undated, and therefore they have not needed to change it because it doesn't change with the years. So this is the planner I used last year. It's the same one that if you ordered right now, you would get this year. And so we're going to compare that to this year's teacher planner. Okay, so first of all, size-wise, they are the same. Obviously you can tell that this is the coiled planner. I don't have the softbound planner this year. I've had it in the past, but I'm comparing the homeschool planner, which only comes in the coiled, to the teacher planner that comes in the coiled. All right, so as far as the covers, they are interchangeable. That is basically the same. The inside of the cover is essentially the same thing. When we get to the cover page here, basically the same thing, just calls it the homeschool planner versus the teacher planner. It has this book belongs to, and you can put your information there. I will go ahead and show that because the homeschool planner is undated, the tabs are blank. They don't have any writing or anything on them. So I used a Sharpie thin marker to write the dates on them last year, and you can kind of see they have definitely worn off. Not all of them, but some of them have worn off. Obviously, I grabbed these more. So I don't know of a really permanent option, but that's what the Sharpie looks like. Okay, and then for the teacher planner, it comes dated. There is an undated teacher planner that would not have them dated, but I don't think it's quite as popular as the regular teacher planner. So that's what the tabs look like. All right, so let's see here. Okay, so after your cover page there, we have these 2 pages here that are similar but different. So in the homeschool planner, it has about family mission statement, homeschool goals, your homeschool requirements, curriculum. And then in the teacher one is about you, the teacher, classroom resources, professional development, classroom volunteer, classroom events. Honestly, as you can see, I don't really use these pages a whole lot as a homeschooler. So for this year, using the teacher planner, I'll just write this stuff over here. So it's not a huge deal breaker for me what it has in there. All right, the next page in the teacher planner there's a communication log, which we don't have in the homeschool planner. And then there is this yearly overview, which again, we don't have this in the homeschool planner because it's undated. So it doesn't have any dates in it, but the teacher planner does have this year plan. Okay, and then we get to this layout here. So in past years in the teacher planner, this had like January, February, March, April. This year they made it blank. The homeschool planner is also blank in these spaces. You just maybe can't tell because I put stickers over it, but these are essentially the exact same pages. So I know with me having written in this one last year, it may make it a little harder to compare, but they're basically the exact same pages with no writing on them there. Then in the teacher planner, you have a bell schedule, which you do not have in the homeschool planner, and a spending summary. Now the homeschool planner does have a budgeting page that's at the back. So I'll go ahead and show you that now. Homeschool planner has an expense tracker here at the back. They're basically the same thing: date, description, category, and total. They're just different names and different locations in the book. Okay. Next, the teacher planner has a 2-page blank page layout, and so does the homeschool planner. So just 2 blank pages. And then it goes into the first month's monthly I don't know what they call this one. So in the teacher planner, you have to-dos, dates to remember in July, and then kind of a blank space here and a blank space here. In the homeschool planner, you have monthly focus, enrichment classes, field trips and outings, supplies and resources, and a blank space here. I don't really use these pages very much for anything specific, sometimes just for scribbling notes down. So I don't feel strongly either way. Then when we get into the calendar, teacher planner, obviously it's dated. So there's July 2025. It's already got the dates on there, thing down the side here, and the next month in the corner. Homeschool planner, since it's not dated, you have to do that part yourself. So you can see last year I wrote July 2024. I went through and I put the dates on there. So you have to fill that part out yourself. So however you feel about that, there's that. Then when you get into the weekly, let me find one that has not been written in much. All right, so here's an example of the weekly. So for the teacher lesson planner, it's already dated for you. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these columns here. Homeschool planner, it's not dated for you. You have to write that part yourself. And it has 6 of the columns with the individual boxes and then 1 long column at the end. So this is a change to the teacher planner that I believe is brand new to this year. The teacher planners used to have this long one as well. And so maybe at some point they'll update the homeschool one to look like this, which I think would be really nice because as a homeschooling parent, a lot of us have multiple children that we're tracking. And so it's nice to have those additional spaces. So that's really the only difference, is that there's no dates. You have to date it yourself. And then the teacher planner has this on the side there. The homeschool planner only comes in the horizontal. The teacher planner, that's what I prefer. So that's what I got, but it also, you can get it customized with the vertical. Okay, so that's what the guts of it looks like. And then in the very back here, so once you get to the end of July, or in this case, just to the end of the book, you have just a blank 2-page spread. And in the homeschool planner, you have trackers. You have curriculum resources. You have reading log, multiple reading logs. Then you have an attendance tracker, and you have really 4 attendance trackers. So you could track up to 4 kids separately. I just track our family as a whole on one, so I don't need that, but you could track up to 4 kids. And then there's that expense tracker that I showed you earlier that's comparable to the spending tracker. In the teacher planner, okay, and then after that, sorry, go back to this. After that, you have a bunch of checklist pages, which are hard to see because I turn them into overview calendar pages. So let me show you this. In the back of the teacher planner, you just have a bunch of checklist pages. So this is what this used to look like before I altered it. But you can see that this is where you do grades or attendance. So on years that I use the teacher planner as my homeschool planner, I use one of these pages to track our attendance, and I just do the months across the top, 1 through 31 down the side, and track that. Since it doesn't have a built-in attendance tracker like the homeschool one does. And then I use the rest of them for this yearly overview that I plot out. So for the teacher planner, I believe you have the options to customize by adding in some other pages and things, but the one I got just came with student checklist, a bunch of those. Back to the homeschool planner, after the student checklist pages, there is a homeschool pals and other homeschool contacts page. And then that's the end of the planner. So both of them come with sticker pages. So for the homeschool one, you can see I used some last year, but they do each come with sticker pages. The teacher one is a little more teachery with things like conference, assembly, that sort of thing. The homeschool planner has a lot more birthday stickers, but in general, they are fairly similar in the sticker wise. Then they each have this pocket thing here. Then they have a clear plastic page protector. The teacher planner, inside the clear plastic page protector, are little holiday stickers that you can put back on your calendars if you want to put those on yourself. So these do not come with any holidays added, but they give you like a huge variety, so you can pick the holidays that you want to celebrate, put them in there if you want. The undated planner does not, I mean the homeschool planner does not have that. And then they both end there. So a really very similar planners. Few differences for me and the way I use the homeschool planner. It's not really a huge deal for me either way. I like the homeschool specific just because we do homeschool and it's nice to have those things like the reading log and the attendance tracker, but it's not a huge deal breaker. So hopefully that helps you to decide as you're picking homeschool planner or the regular teacher planner.